Said yeah, report to him and he'll find out.
Good that they did that. For me, I gotta tell you the truth, it's better for me to be on the ground TV.
Yes, it is. No,
I don't know why.
It's the worst. Yeah, this is the other shot right now.
Yeah, that was cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Too long.
There goes my shot.
Yeah.
There goes our shot, man. That's it.
What are you guys waiting for? It's sunny. How do we?
Oh.
А я еще пока настроиться. А у нас взяли. 香。
Essa nuvem das final do rosto, sabe?
Deixa eu ficar no ponto lá, vocês não entendem.
Nee, bestimmt nicht. Ich mag das nicht.
Sind wir später?
Bitte?
Welche geht das denn gerade?
Das ist das.
Das kommen da ganz viele.
Seeing that.
Ich komme dann gleich keine Busse.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one, with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Why should voters vote for convicted felons?
Are you going to drop out? You believe in the rule of law? You trust the jury? Are you worried about your record? Are you worried about jail? Yeah, we don't even need to.
All right, everybody, good afternoon here. Thank you so much for joining us here at Atlanta News First. I'm Savannah Louie with the Atlanta News First Alert Breaking News Desk. I'm joined by Atlanta News First attorney and anchor Joy Lim-Nakrin here. We're following breaking news out of New York right now. The former President Donald Trump here convicted of 34 felony charges, counts rather, of falsifying business records. This is all part of his New York hush money criminal trial, and this news breaking just within the last 20 minutes or here. Now, Trump now is he is the first U.S. president to ever be convicted of a felony, and of course we know that this all follows his accusations of taking part in a illegal conspiracy to undermine the integrity of the 2016 election, as well as an unlawful plan to suppress negative information, which included concealing a hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. We do know that there is going to be a sentencing from the judge here. That sentencing going to be happening July 11th. Trump has said that he plans to appeal that sentencing. He's also spoken to the media about this. He says that he will keep fighting these charges and these counts. He said also that that judge never should have been over this trial and that it was a rigged trial. Again, we just heard from the former president within the last 5 minutes or so. Now, just to bring you up to speed, every count that the president faces could bring up to 4 years of jail time and thousands of dollars in fines. So there are some serious repercussions here, depending on what the judge decides to hand down as part of Trump's sentencing, which again will occur on July 11th. Atlanta News First going to continue to follow this very closely. But we want to bring in our Atlanta News First anchor and attorney, Joy Lim-Nakrin, right now. Joy, you have a pretty interesting perspective here on what's been going on. And so tell us a little bit about what that jury may have been keeping in mind as we look toward the sentencing and the verdict that was handed down just about 30 minutes ago or so.
Well, I think it was very telling that they spent most of today re-examining testimony that they heard during the course of the trial, specifically testimony from Mr. Trump's former attorney and so-called former fixer, Michael Cohen, as well as testimony from the former National Enquirer publisher, head publisher, Mr. Peck, David Peck. So, you know, clearly that was something that was on the minds of jurors as they continued day 2 of deliberations today. This jury deliberated for 11 hours and 43 minutes. And apart from focusing in on that testimony, the jury also asked to re-listen to the jury instructions because in the state of New York, much like here in the state of Georgia, the court does not, as they call it, publish jury instructions, meaning the jurors don't get a physical copy of jury instructions. It's actually just read to them. So they wanted to hear that again, meaning they wanted to be really clear on what exactly the law was, what the kind of legal threshold was for finding Mr. Trump guilty on all of these counts. So it just kind of gives you a look into what may have been going on in their analysis and their mindset. Certainly, you know, the fact that they asked to re-listen to testimony from both Mr. Cohen and Mr. Peck, from, you know, formerly of the National Enquirer, and specifically around the 2015 meeting surrounding the kind of catch and kill scheme, alleged catch and kill scheme, you know, I think it could be gleaned that that was a big part of their kind of analysis and decision-making process. And just kind of not to gloss over that, when I'm talking about this alleged catch and kill scheme, this was a scheme to essentially suppress negative information, to stop negative stories from going on to the media, and explicitly or specifically the National Enquirer in that particular case. But quite a surprise to many legal observers that, you know, all 34 counts, they came up with guilty verdicts because easily it could have been a split verdict. I've covered numerous trials where, you know, the jury may find guilty on maybe half of the counts and acquit the defendant on another half or some other split. But to find Mr. Trump guilty on all 34 counts in such a short period of time, quite frankly, I think was very stunning to many legal observers.
Yeah, and I mean, Joy, we both listened to that verdict read, and it was almost a little sobering hearing count after count after count, guilty, 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 guilty. I don't know about you, but yeah, that was just an incredible moment there as we were listening into that verdict being read live.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned it, a historic moment, because now this is the first time we've had a former president who's now a criminal convict. he has just been convicted of 34 different counts of felony charges. We're talking about falsifying business records. And, I'm not sure how much our viewers have been following. I think most people do know this is related to hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. And to be very clear, the law doesn't prohibit, so-called hush money payments, to cover up an alleged affair in this case. What really was under scrutiny here was kind of the cover up in terms of financial documents. The counts here were for falsifying financial records, essentially. And, it's $130,000 in payments to Michael Cohen, the former attorney, former fixer of Mr. Trump, and how those were characterized, how those were mischaracterized, where they were actually hush money is what this jury found. And then how they were documented was false.
Joy, regardless of anyone's opinion on the former president, I think everyone can agree this is someone who does not go down without a fight. And I mean, Trump himself, he even said in a statement to the media just earlier today that he was going to keep fighting and calling this trial rigged. We know that he has also said that he plans to appeal the sentencing. The sentencing, again, happening on July 11th at 10 a.m. And so we have just over a month before that sentencing occurs. Talk to us a little bit about what we can expect over the next few weeks, both from Trump's camp and then also maybe from anyone else who might be involved in the prosecution or the judge as well. What are they going to be thinking about here?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, we can certainly, I would say, expect more bold statements from the former president. We heard him just a short time ago before we went off on this live stream, despite a gag order that was in place during the course of this trial, going up and telling the world, telling the media, I'm innocent, and essentially telling the world that this was essentially rigged by Joe Biden, the current president. And that's something that, we saw our colleagues at CBS Network fact check, right? That, they fact checked that this is in fact a jury of peers who convicted Mr. Trump. So I certainly I think we can expect more statements from the former president, and after the sentencing and that sort of that stage in the justice process, we can expect certainly an appeal. And frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Trump's legal team was already working on their appeal right now before it's actually filed in court, because certainly he has had a very strong team of attorneys in all of his criminal and civil matters, including his Fulton County case here in Georgia. And, if the prosecutorial team is strategic, which I'm sure they are, they're probably also preparing filings to address an appeal, which I'm sure that they would anticipate as well. As for sentencing, you mentioned the possibility of prison time for every single one of those counts. So that's something, of course, to keep an eye out for. But when it comes to the potential for jail or even prison time, certainly some of the considerations are whether the defendant is a flight risk, whether the defendant might be even a danger to the community, those sorts of things. And I would say that, Mr. Trump is probably not going to be estimated to be a flight risk because he is a very public figure. It's not like he can sneak off to some foreign land without going on notice. But, certainly a lot of preparation will go into the sentencing and the appeals phase, which would be next to come. Furthermore, it also should be noted that this conviction would now inform what happens here in Fulton County in our massive election interference case, which is currently being prosecuted by, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Obviously, that is a whole other issue that, is being fought by Mr. Trump's team, whether Ms. Willis should remain on that case. But, certainly, if not in kind of a direct way, in an indirect way, it would be expected that the verdict would inform kind of legal strategy, the legal arguments put together by both the prosecution and the defense, because now it goes on the criminal record that Mr. Trump is a convicted felon.
Okay, yeah, so I was actually going to ask about that. And hey, if you're joining us now, if you're joining this live stream right now, just want to bring you up to speed. We're following that breaking news that a Manhattan jury just found former President Donald Trump guilty on 34 counts of falsifying business records. This part of a New York hush money criminal trial. Trump is now the first president in U.S. history to be convicted of a felony. And Joy, I mean, you briefly mentioned Trump's other indictment here in Atlanta, Fulton County. The former president, though, part of a number, 4 different trials in different parts of the country right now. What can you tell us? I mean, you did mention briefly a little bit about how it could impact our case here in Atlanta, especially when it comes to his criminal record, but any other insight into how today's events and today's verdict might impact all of those other issues that he's facing?
Well, you know, in a tangential way, this trial in New York did have to do with the election. You know, the allegations really stem from trying to, you know, cover up this alleged affair and stopping negative stories from getting into the media ahead of the 2016 presidential election. And so those facts are relevant to a case about election interference or alleged election interference, which is what the case here in Fulton County is all about. So, you know, not just because this is now a criminal conviction, a felony conviction, but also because it has to do with election interference in a way.
Yeah, Joy, I think that's absolutely right. And, you know, one other thing I want to talk about, Trump is obviously very outspoken on a variety of matters. That is just who he is. And we've seen him throughout this trial as well as some of the others, and even during his presidency, not be afraid to speak out and to share his opinion. Even today, as he was addressing the media, sharing some of his thoughts on today's verdict that was read, we heard him say that the trial was rigged and that this was done by the Biden administration in order to wound him as a political opponent as we look toward the election later this November. He also said the country has gone to hell and that the judge should have never been over this trial. A lot of pretty polarizing statements there. And so as we look toward that sentencing and some of the other trials that he's a part of, how might what the president is saying right now and maybe over the course of the next few weeks here, how could that impact some of his some repercussions? What kind of impact could that have here?
Well, you know, I think we're all familiar with the saying, anything you say can and will be used against you. And I think that's true. Certainly, Mr. Trump is aware of that, but it hasn't quieted him whatsoever. Even the gag order has not quieted him. And the reality is, as much as his statements may inflame his opposition and may be giving them more ammunition, he has a very strong base. And, you know, we have seen that this sort of that the challenges that he's faced have really kind of galvanized his base and strengthened his support. Those who support him stand behind him even stronger, it seems, as he does face challenges. That said, you know, it is something that courts down the road could consider, and it may be considered even during sentencing, the fact that he disregarded a gag order during the course of this trial and made extrajudicial comments that really were not permissible. So, you know, that may exacerbate things down the line when we look at the appeals process or even sentencing.
Yeah, Joy. And I mean, speaking of the president's words here and all of his outspokenness, we do have a clip of him addressing the media shortly after that verdict was read earlier today. I'm going to go ahead and listen to that clip.
Be prosecuted again. Andy McCarthy, this is anything but standard. It's the antithesis of standard, actually. The idea that they do not have to agree on what the other crime is. We spent 6 weeks wondering, what is the other crime? What is the other crime? And at the end, the thud we all get is this. There's 3 or 4 of them, and you could pick one from the other, and they don't have to agree on anything. And what he's saying is it's so corrupt. Nobody's ever heard of a thing like this. It's called pick 'em. It's like the lottery. Pick 'em. You pick 'em. And you don't have to be, even though in a criminal case you have to be unanimous, you don't have to be. Just give a couple of votes, because the judge, unfortunately, is corrupt. Judge Janine Pirro, no one has heard of this. It's like there's a menu column A, B, or C. You have to agree on it. This is a kangaroo court. This is unheard of. I've never seen anything like it. I've done this for 32 years. I'm not a federal prosecutor. I'm a state prosecutor, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not a federal judge. I'm a county judge, just like Mershon. This is New York law. This is my wheelhouse. He is 100% wrong. He's wrong. That's what Jeanine Pirro, very good woman, very smart woman. Jonathan Turley, this is becoming a three-card Monte game on where is the crime? Smart guy, where is the crime? Mike Davis, the U.S. would sanction a country for doing this. I think that's good. I think that's good. Steve Hilton, it seems that every single day these proceedings go on, the judge and the prosecutor just go out of their way to prove Trump's point. And I guess they are proving my point when you think. That's why I write some of these things that are very sad. Mark Levin, this Stalinist-like case, it's a Stalinist-like case. It has prevented President Trump from running for office. It has prevented him from campaigning. He's unable to campaign because he's been in a courthouse for 5 weeks. And yet we just had a poll came out, NPR. Trump's 54, Biden's 42. And that's with independents. That's the best we've ever had. They said this is the single best poll that Trump has ever had with independents. Trump's largest lead among independent voters. NPR Maris
sucks. At the last minute. You can't. You gotta go this way, lady. You're gonna get hit by a car. Do you care?
Yes, my last hit is at 6:40. Yes, I can.
I gotta find it, but yeah, I should have it. Okay. Yeah, because it was a decent shot that we had. Okay. You remember where Trump Tower is, right? He's north coming up on 42nd Street. Must be something up ahead. Stall or an accident or something. Yeah. Okay. Copy that. Okay. Copy that. Okay. So There is going to be a 7 o'clock, a 6:30, a 7 o'clock deal going on here. So what is time? I'm sorry. Yeah. Over here at 30th, if it's possible. Did you bring? Did you bring the can? Should be in there. When you run it, when you need to go. Just north of the UN. Hi, Claire. I got you. How you doing? Okie dokie. There's a good chance they'll probably dip into the city at this exit up here. Thank you, Claire. Okay. I'm going to lose them here, Claire, just so you know. Talking to the studio. Just talking to the studio. It looks like they're going into the city now, I think. I'm not sure. Okay, Claire, I lost them underneath the overpasses. Okay, they're off the FDR. And they're coming south on York, it looks like. Okay. This feels like it's going to Trump Tower, so probably over to 56th and 5th. This is what it feels like. The route they're taking right now feels like they'll end up at Trump Tower over on 5th Avenue. Yepers. Okay, he's making the left. And Desk, if you can hear me, you left your key open. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Desk, can you hear Chopper? Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, someone left their key open. That's all, Wanda. It's off now. Okay, when they get to 57th Street. Thank you, Claire. Okay, they're going south on Park Avenue. He's probably going to make a right. Maybe, maybe not. Nope, they're going south. Okay. They're continuing south. Okay. Okay. Let's get over to Trump Tower. Okay, they're going to be there any second, so let's just try to scoot up the best we can. And we can get further north. North. I don't think we're going to see it. We're probably going to miss it. I need to see the south side of that black building right there. But I bet you he's already there. Up. Hurry. Keep going. Up, building. Let's go a little further. Yep. Yes, Maurice, what you saw when the former president came out of his SUV there, he walked over on 56th Street over to Fifth Avenue, and this is part of the crowd that he was waving to. This line, it's a little hard to see from the angle we have, as you can imagine, a lot of choppers up here, but this line extends from 56th Street almost up to 57th Street, the entire west side of Fifth Avenue, lined with the supporters, people trying to get a glimpse of the former president, but that's the crowd that you can see there that was waiting for a glimpse of the former president as he came back to Trump Tower here on Fifth Avenue. We got here so quick, Maurice. It was a little hard to see. Most of them seemed to be supporters, but again, we didn't get a good look around the other side of the building to see if there are other signs or what have you out there. But it appeared to be a pro-Trump crowd as he approached them from 56th Street. Thanks, Lair. Thank you. Okay, talk to me about fuel here, Eric. Okay, let me check. Let's see what they want to do. Shopper, CBS desk. Fox is still taking our video live. Hey, Marcus. Okay, so what is happening from 6:30 to 7? Do you still want us up live? This is hard. Hey, Lena. If I go back to Linden, I gotta start thinking about going back now. If I go, I can probably push till about 6:30 if I go here in the city, but then we'll be back up over the city. You know what I mean? Thanks, Claire. Oh, yeah. He's got to check one thing, but we should be able to, yeah. Sure. Eric, have you been able to look at the can to make sure you have the credit card? Okay. If we can hang till 6:30 if we do the 30th? Okay. 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 That should not be a problem, barring any problems at 30th Street, Lena. That should be fine. Thank you, Claire. Our video is still hot, just so you know, so gotta be a little smooth here, that's all. Got 7 to our south is the only one I saw. Okay. That can work. Okay. Chopper to the desk. Chopper CBS desk. Okay, our crowd here at Trump Tower has kind of died out. I'm seeing my video still being used in places. Is there a group in Times Square? If I can move there easily? Is there a rally going on there? Are there people I can look at from the chopper? Okay. I'll stay with this for a few minutes then. Copy that. Thank you, Claire. Okay. I'm sorry. I mean, right now that's all I'm doing. Yeah. I mean, we're still being used by Fox, I think. Okay, Chopper, CBS desk. We're going to break off and head for fuel, okay? And when I come back up, I'll feed the tape of Trump coming out of the courthouse.